It is so great catching up with my next guest, and he's got a big fight coming up here at UFC Fight Night, March 2nd in Saudi Arabia. He's going to be taking on Muhammad Mokaev. It is Alex Perez back here on the program. Alex, how are you, man?
Good, man. Just hanging out before I head to the gym. So just ready to get the day started.
Yes. Well, like I mentioned off the top there, a really big fight here. I know you've had some rough luck over the last couple years. I know from a variety of different things. Do you feel like you have some of the worst luck in the UFC right now in terms of just things getting canceled and things not working out? And how do you improve that luck? Are you like, avoid black cats, broken mirrors, all that stuff? How do you do it?
At first, I was kind of upset, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Can't do anything about it. When you look at my record, it shows like 9, 10 cancellations. Everybody shits on it. But and everybody like shits on me about it, but I'm like, I can't really do anything about it. A lot of them were out of my control, Some of them were in my control, like when I was supposed to fight Chanel in February. I did miss weight, you know what I mean? That was that was in my control. And then when I was supposed to fight Amir, I had I'm very personal. Obviously, you look at my Instagram, it's very about just kind of work, and I do post my son, but I ended up having orbital surgery. After Pantoja, I don't know if it was broken then, but I kind of went back to training, probably like a week or two later, and ended up having to get orbital surgery. Then Kai Kara-France pulled out, Ascar pulled out every time we were supposed to fight. Matt Chanel pulled out a couple times. I pulled out the first time. And it's kind of just back and forth. But at first I was kind of upset, but ain't much I can do about it. I'm just, took some time off, actually reset my body. Going through so many camps, it was like, oh, hey, Chanel's out, you're going to fight Ascar. Is it cool? Same date? Nah, you got another 6-week camp. I'm like, oh, man, I've been training for, 8 weeks for this guy, now another 6. And like, hey, Ascar pulled out 3 weeks before. Hey, okay, you're going to fight Chanel. Oh, like going back and forth, kind of let my body reset itself and heal. I think, that being in camp for a year and a half kind of really jacked my body up. So, I just kind of take it with a grain of salt, and just move on and just keep doing what I'm doing.
How challenging has this been mentally? Because I know your ability, that you're like one of the top guys in the weight class, and people look at the losing streak, but a lot of your losses have actually aged quite well. How have you dealt with the mental side of that? Because I know that can be difficult.
It sucks just because in wrestling I can compete the next week. The next week you lose, you can compete. But and MMA is a little bit different, right? You get X amount of months in between. But the guys I lost to, Joe Benavidez, fought for a title. Devin Figueroa, former champion, and Pantoja, champion. Those aren't like guys that are just 1 and 2 in the UFC. So, that's the hindsight of it. Like, I'm losing to the best guys in the division. I know how good I am, I just got to show it March 2nd, and I'm excited for the next challenge.
And just last thing, kind of on, the layoff and sort of the bad luck, financially, how tough have things been over the last couple of years? Because obviously I know when you fight, you make money, especially being a father as well, having to provide.
Honestly, like I did learn good management skills from a manager, Jason House, money management. So, I opened up my business out in Orange County, outside Republic. It's down in Orange. So I have my own business. I bought a house. Cool. So I do have money coming in. Like, obviously fighting is my main source of income, but opening my business, buying a house, I'm training people. I'm always working, even when I, fighting for a title, I'm still teaching classes. I'm still doing things like that. So I have money coming in. Obviously, it's not the biggest chunk, but and this sounds crazy and kind of like weird to say, but I'm lucky I haven't had to get a real job in, 2 or 3 years. I'm still living off of, what I'm making. So very blessed and fortunate that my manager, Jason House, actually showed me what to do, how to do it. And, kind of laid a good foundation for me financially, showing me like, hey, things to do and not to do. I got a financial advisor. I have people around me that are actually, that help me with that as well. So I'm like, fortunate enough that I'm not stressing about money. Obviously that's one of the big things a lot of guys stress about. But ever since I got into the UFC, my family calls me, they call me Mr. Krabs, from SpongeBob, because I'm picking up change. I'm saving every dime, every cent. And it's actually paid off. So I'm blessed in that part.
So you're fighting Muhammad Mokaev. Were you surprised at all get this fight, or was he someone that you were expecting to fight? Take me through how this came together.
No, he's good. He's good. He's a good up-and-comer. Obviously, he has a lot of hype on him, and I'm excited for the challenge. I figured that we're gonna fight eventually. He did call me out after Kai Kara-France pulled out. you know, writing in my DMs and stuff like that. I was like, I mean, the UFC has never offered me. I've never said no to anybody. The UFC never offered him to me until now, and I said, yeah. I mean, I think I signed the contract as soon as they sent it. I sent it right back. I've never backed away from a challenge. He's a good upcomer, a lot of hype, and there's always all the hype. I mean, well, he's undefeated. I think he had like 20 some amateur fights. He's 11 now as a pro. He's ranked in the top 10. I mean, he's a stud. You know, I'm excited for the challenge.
You fought guys in their, you know, maybe being sort of the, you fought guys in their own backyard, so to speak, but to fight someone like in Saudi Arabia where the crowd's going to be on his side in your first fight outside of the US, do you like that? Do you like being the guy that can silence the crowd, so to speak?
I don't really pay attention to that. Just coming back from the wrestling background, we used to, so I wrestled at Lee High. I remember going into people's backyards in our league, and just people were like, it was crazy to have people cheer against your teammates or someone that lost. Like grown parents and people were like cheering, oh yeah, that guy lost. So I'm used to getting booed and having people go against me. You know what I mean? I'm not too worried about it. I like I said, I'm excited for the challenge. I'm grateful to be where I'm at, and I'm thankful for the opportunity.
Stylistically, how are you looking at this fight? Obviously, he's a great wrestler. He's got, you know, really, you know, still a young fighter, but still very, very complete. How are you looking at this matchup?
Man, he's tough everywhere. He has good stand up, good on the ground, good wrestling. I mean, he's one of the new age kids that came up doing MMA, right? I grew up doing wrestling and then kind of transitioned over to MMA. He's one of the young guys that started doing MMA. So I'm excited for the matchup. I think he's great everywhere. You know, I just think whoever's on that day or that night is going to be the better guy. And, you know, I'm doing everything I can. You know, I was out in Vegas for a while. I came back to Team Oyama with Colin Oyama. I went out there and you know, I mean, got some great training in. I got to train with Cody Garbrandt. You know, it was good. I actually enjoyed training with Cody Garbrandt a lot, and just seeing what he's been through in the last couple of years and kind of his mindset through things. He actually helped me a lot, just mentally and the mental side of it. And like I said, I'm excited.
Any plans to go train with him again ahead of this fight?
Yeah, we have talked. I mean, obviously, he just got a big win over Brian Keller. So, I mean, he's vacations coming up, you know, Christmas and New Year's. But we have planned. I'm heading back over there the week of Ricky Simone's fight. You know, I'm training with Ricky Simone as well. So I'm heading back to Vegas that week. Get some training with him, Lance Palmer, Chase Pammy, Billy Bigelow, Matej Nakash. Get training with those guys. And obviously, Conor Oyama will be there. And then they're gonna come back either the week after that fight or following week, come out here, get some training in. So a lot of cross training with those guys in. I enjoy it. You know, Cody's a former champion, and you can pick his brain about things, and he's very open about just the mental side as well. And I like that about him.
Anything different for the weight cut? Because you mentioned, I know, you know, there's some struggles in the past. Have you been doing anything differently, or are you still doing the sort of the same thing, business as usual in that regard?
Nah, business as usual. I mean, I missed weight when I fought Eric Shelton, you know what I mean? And I missed weight the second time when I fought, was supposed to fight Matt Chanel. I just think that second weight miss with Matt Chanel, I mean, we're supposed to fight in December. I step on the scale, 126.1, you know, and then I get 2 hours to cut the weight. And then I step off, getting ready to go, just, I mean, right across the street to the UFC PI, jump in the hot tub for, 5-10 minutes and make the weight. And they canceled the fight, you know what I mean? He took a seat behind the curtain. He wasn't able to compete or whatever. And you know what I mean, I think that came from just having a hard weight cut that camp, and then trying to get my body reset to go again. And like a month or two later was kind of like rough. So I just think you know, my body just, I eventually said like, nah, we ain't doing this again. You know, you've been in camp for a year. We needed time to relax, kind of stress on the body. And like I said, I've taken the time off. I've been working with the UFC PI, you know, obviously with the PT team and also the nutritionist team. So, and I'm still working with perfecting athletes. So everything's on point. And like I said, I'm just ready to go. Excited.
Were you worried at all, you know, that maybe the UFC might make you move up a weight class at all? Was that ever a thought, or do you feel like they gave you a lot of rope there?
I mean, it was a thought. I mean, extra 10 pounds wouldn't hurt, but I can also make 25s. Like I said, before then, I had one weight miss. I had missed my flight. You know, like I said, that was on me. I should have planned better. I just ran out of time. And the second one was just, hey, I mean, I've been in camp for a whole year. You know, if they allow me to go up to 35, cool. If not, I got unfinished business at 25s anyways. You know, I want to get another title shot, make another title run. And, we're at 25s or 35s, but right now it's at 25s. I got a big fight coming up, so that's what I'm focused on right now.
Do you know when you're going to be heading down to Saudi Arabia yet? Have you got your itinerary?
I don't. So that's what we're trying to figure out. I'm talking to a lot of the PI staff and asking them like, hey, what is the right protocol? Obviously, they got all the science and all the best how to adjust. Obviously, time change and everything's different. Um, so I'm just waiting for them to let me know, and then I get everything booked and head out there. So we'll see what they say, what the recommendations are, and kind of get with my team and figure out, because obviously it's expensive going out there, but then obviously paying for a hotel, find a place to train. Obviously, like your coaches and stuff, obviously they work as well. They're coaching other fighters and things like that. So it's a lot of time to take away. But we're gonna do whatever we can to make this camp the best camp.
How do you see this fight playing out on March 2nd? What's your prediction?
Oh man, it's a tough fight. Honestly, I see it. A 15-minute war. Hopefully, I end it soon. But he's a tough kid. I've seen him come back from a lot of things, and I'm expecting a 15-minute war. Obviously, I expect to win. I'm grateful for whatever way the win comes. Whether it's on the ground, on the feet, or we go to decision. But I'm just getting ready for 15 minutes. That's all I'm focused on. I'm not worried about the finish. Trying to finish him early. If it comes great. But if not, I'm ready for 15 minutes. You can expect a good fight. I mean, he's a tough kid. He's gonna bring it. You see him when he fights. He's not a kid to shy away. So, and I like to fight. I like to come forward too. So it's gonna be a good fight.
He's got a pretty passionate fan base. Have you seen any of that on social media heading into the fight and all that, compared to maybe other fights?
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of comments on my stuff. One guy kept posting. I don't know if he's a friend or I don't know, just a random dude, but he kept posting stuff on there, something about me pulling out, and to me it doesn't really bug me. But when you start posting stuff on pictures of my son, it's kind of one of those things like, man, come on, don't be an ass. But I ended up he kept talking about me pulling out, and I left a comment on there. I was like, well, don't worry, I've been practicing on your mom not pulling out, and and they shut down my Instagram account for a little bit. But I mean, it's like,
Really?
hey, man, yeah, they shut it down for a little bit, and then they ended up giving it back. But for me, it was just like, I don't mind the disrespect. You can talk whatever you want, but when you start posting on my kids' pictures and commenting on about my son and stuff, it's kind of one of those things, man. It's like low class kind of stuff. But like I said, I'm pretty sure they're not his friends or anybody like that. I'm pretty sure it's just random fan base. But I mean, it doesn't bother me at all. Like I said, when it really bothers me is when you're posting things like my son. I have a picture of my son with Santa Claus, and they're posting on there talking shit. Like, dude, post on a picture of me fighting at least. Why are you posting a picture of my son? But I really don't mind it. I'm not a big talker. If you know me for years, I got to go on social media and talk about people or on Twitter. Everybody goes on Twitter, calls out people. I'm not a big guy to do that. I kind of look at it and laugh and just kind of move on. It's not a big deal. It's not as bad as what people don't understand. I think in fighting, I mean, I see a lot of people get hate mail, and people are talking about it more and more. Exposing all their the messages they're getting and stuff. I'm like, dude, it's not as bad as what my friends tell me or make fun of me of. You know what I mean? They keep me humble.
That's a good attitude.
So they keep me humble, and my family keeps me humble. So I'm not really worried. I'm just care about the people, I'm close with, whatever they think. Obviously, that affects me more than what some random person on the internet's telling me.
Well, trash talk's been sort of the focus right now because we obviously had a lot at UFC 296 last week where, some of the stuff was involving family. I imagine you're not a fan of hearing that type of stuff. Like, obviously, Colby did it, and Duplessis kind of did it a bit with Sean Strickland.
Not really. I started fighting in 2010. Facebook was barely popping, so I'm not real big on social media nowadays. You see everybody on social media talking smack, and then for me, I'm a person hey, if I'm gonna talk smack to you, I'm gonna do it to your face. I'm not a person that's gonna do it where I'm from. That's the way we handle things. You're gonna do it to your face, and you're gonna fight. I've had people talk crap about me, talk trash about me, and then when I see them, they're like, hey, what's up, man? I'm like, oh, you're just trying to make money. I understand both sides of it now. Before I didn't like it, but now I understand both sides. The family part, man, I'm not really a big fan of that. I'm not, what I mean? It's kind of one of those things I wouldn't want no one to talk about my son or his mom or my family. It's just one of those things. I really don't cross lines until lines are crossed. But for me, like I said, I'm old school. If you're gonna tell me something, usually when I see you, it's gonna be on. Most of the time when I see people that have talk crap about me, when I see them at the PI or I see them anywhere, they're pretty chill. I mean, they're just trying to make money, sell themselves, and I'm like, okay, I get it. But that no one has ever disrespected me in that way. Where like talking about my family, I think it'd be a little bit different. If they say something about my son or his mom or one of my family members, I think it'd be a little bit different. They've always attacked me, which I can handle people saying stuff about me. I'm like, whatever. But if they say something about my family, it's kind of one of those things that you cross the line, and something has to happen.
What did you think of Colby's performance in that fight? It was a bit surprising.
Man, I mean, I honestly thought he was gonna. I thought he was gonna be just like against Robbie Lawler. You know, he's taking 30, 40 shots. I don't know if it was ring rust or if he was injured. It kind of looked like when he took him down. I think in the third round, he took him down, and Leon started squirming away, but he couldn't really follow him.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if he had a knee injury. I seen after the fight he had ice packs on his knee, on his left knee, and he's a southpaw, so he was getting his right leg attacked. So I'm thinking he had an injury. Obviously, Kobe's not gonna say I was injured or whatever, but I think he had an injury going in. I don't think he was 100%. People say, well, he doesn't he trains hard, but he trains very smart. But I'm like, dude, you see people play soccer, just move the wrong way and then bust their knee. You know, I've seen people tear their ACLs doing simple things. So I'm thinking he's hurt. I was expecting him to come out there, wrestle, and he surprised me a lot. Like, hardly threw any strikes. I mean, when he wanted to take Leon down, he did. You know,
Yeah.
he engaged it. So I'm guessing something was up. I don't think he was 100%, but like I said, congrats to Leon. He looks, every time I see him fight, he gets better and better.
Got to ask you about Alexandre Pantoja, guy you fought, defending his title against Brandon Royval. Did you expect the fight to play out that way?
Man, that fight, everybody's asking me who I thought would win. I thought Brandon Royval would come out swinging, you know, like I did the first time, because I honestly thought he was winning the first fight until he made that mistake, and I thought he was gonna come out like that. I think it hurt him, kind of being more lax and trying to be more methodical. I think it actually hurt Brandon. You know, that fight for me is a 50-50 because at flyweight you never know what's gonna happen. Like, they're actually both. I train with Brandon. He's a solid guy, and then Pantoja has always been super nice. Even when I seen him at the PI, where I was helping Cody train Latino, man, he's always super respectful. It was hard to pick a winner on that one, but like with flyweight, you never know. Pantoja, man, can crack you lights out, or he can tap you. Royval can, you know, tap you out, or he can put the pressure on you and make you quit. And you know what I mean? I didn't see that fight going that slow of paced, but I mean, it was a good fight, good technical fight.
What was it like getting to grapple Roman Bravo Young? That seemed like a pretty cool experience.
It was cool, man. He's a nice dude. We've talked on Instagram before that, like to train and stuff, work out, and they offered the opportunity. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? He's one of the best wrestlers in the world, you know. And for me, I was just like, hey, I'm gonna try to get a takedown on him. But then a couple of times I got the single leg or something, and I've watched him wrestle for so long, so I knew he's gonna try to do a backflip or something out of it. I was like, nah, you're gonna make a highlight out of me. But it was cool, man. He's a solid guy. It was fun, you know. First time grappling, actually doing a grappling competition in years, I think, since I first started. So it was fun to get in there, just try to grapple with one of the best guys.
Do you think he'll come over to MMA?
I'm not too sure. I mean, he's making a run right now for the Olympics, I know. So I mean, he might not. I know he trains with Dominic and stuff. I mean, if he does, he'll be good. I mean, he's gonna be signed right away, most likely to UFC. Probably 2-3-0. He'll be in the UFC, and he can probably make 25s, especially with day before weigh-ins. He's a smaller guy. So I mean, I'll be excited to see him. I mean, I would like to see how his style ends up. He's not known really for riding people, like being a really top heavy guy like Bo Nickel. You know, Bo Nickel's good on the feet and was a real big rider in college. So I'm not sure how it would translate, but it'll be exciting to see. He's always trying to put on a show.
You got a couple more fights left in your contract. What's the latest with that?
Yeah, I got a couple more fights on my contract, so just
Nice.
one fight at a time. You know.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a crazy couple of years, but I can't really worry about what I can't control. You know, so I kind of just let my manager handle that. You know, everybody says you don't need a manager, you actually do. I've been with Jason since I was 18 years old. I'm 31 now, and he's handled all my contracts and stuff. Super solid guy. Like, I just let him handle everything. And there's been times where I question what he's doing, you know, like everybody does. But I got full faith in him, and I know he's looking out for the best interests of me and, obviously my son. Like I said, he's watched me grow up from 18 to 31. I'll be 32 this year. He's watched me, grow up. Literally, I've lived with him and stuff like that. So I know he has the best interest at heart, and everything he does is for me and my son. So said I just let him handle everything.
My last question, and I know we've gone over time here. I apologize for that.
No, you're good.
What's your what are your plans for the holidays? Obviously, fights a little bit of a ways away. What do you got planned with your son?
I'm just hanging out with my son, man. Everybody laughs, man, because my son, like, if I go somewhere, my son's with me. Even to the gym. Now it's hard to take him to the gym because he's crazy and he tries to run in between like the grappling grappling, practices or the stand-up practices where we're sparring. But my son's always with me. We're just gonna hang out. Probably at the beginning of the year, we're gonna head out to go see my mom. They're going out. They're in Washington right now with my sisters, so I'll probably head out to go over there for New Year's, spend New Year's with them, and just hang out with my kid. I probably one of my favorite things to do. I really don't party. I really don't drink. I don't do a lot of stuff. My pastime is hanging out with my son, and I mean, obviously, people can see that through my Instagram. I'm always posting about him, and it's probably my favorite part of the day, just being able to hang out with him.
You're talking Washington D.C. or Washington State?
Washington State.
Oh, cool. That's not far from me. I'm in British Columbia. So the real Vancouver. I know there's a Vancouver, Washington, but the real Vancouver is the one here. So there we go. We're looking forward to this, man. I know it's a ways away, but I was really happy to get to talk to you, man. It's UFC Saudi Arabia, March 2nd. Alex, if there's anyone you want to thank before we get out of here, any sponsors, any social media, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, just first, thanks for having me, man. It's always good talking to you. I want to thank, obviously, my sponsors, Drink HRW, MMJ, CBD, Always Ready Meals, right? I want to thank the UFC PI staff from top to bottom, from the people that work the front desk to PT team, strength conditioning team, everybody in between. Thank you guys so much for getting me back on track, getting me healthy and ready to go this year. Thank my team, Team Oyama, everybody out in Vegas. I know some things didn't work out when I worked at Syndicate and stuff like that, but I'm grateful for John Wood letting me in through to his doors and letting me train with some of the best guys in the world. All my training partners, everybody helping me out for this camp. Thank you guys so much. Let's get after. I'm excited to get the win and get back on track.